Hello everyone and welcome to iLand Technologies presentation where we'll be looking at tips to improve your wireless network. Wi-Fi is a convenient and easy way to access your network resources as well as the internet, but sometimes it doesn't work as well as we'd like, and many people may experience slow or intermittent connections when using wireless devices. In this webinar, I'll go through some common issues that may be encountered when using wireless networks and what can be done to improve them. My name's Darren and I'm the Queensland Sales Rep at Draytech Australia and New Zealand. There are many factors that will affect Wi-Fi connectivity, and today we'll look at the more common ones, including placement of the access point, wireless channels used, and frequency band selected. We'll also look at interference from neighbouring devices, the type of antenna used, as well as security settings and firmware used in Draytech devices. If you have any questions during the video, please comment in the chat box on the right side of the screen and stick around at the end for a 5-minute Q&A session. Don't forget you can pause the video or skip back anytime if you'd like a longer look at anything or to hear it again. If you're watching this after the live premiere, please comment below or send an email to sales@draytech.com.au. We'll start by looking at the best position for a wireless access point within a building and how this will make a big difference to a wireless network. If your wireless router is against an outside wall of a building or down one end, the signal will be great there but weaker at the other end, especially if it's a large building. As we can see in this diagram, placing the wireless router at the front of the building means very weak or no signal down the other end. So you're effectively sending a lot of your Wi-Fi signal out into the street rather than where you want it. Whereas placing the wireless router or access point in the middle of the building will provide better coverage to most areas within the building. In some cases it may not be possible to move the wireless router from the entry point of the building, so here you can install a wireless repeater in a central location to provide greater wireless coverage. Another factor that can affect good wireless coverage is obstacles that can reduce or block the wireless signal within a building. This includes the construction materials used. For example, thick concrete or brick walls will significantly reduce the wireless signal available on the other side of the wall. In the table shown here, you can see how different types of material can affect the wireless signal. At the top we have materials such as wood panels and gypsum boards. These have the lowest absorption rate, but at the other end we get to mirrors and metallic material which will severely impact the wireless signal, if not completely block it. To get around metal objects, try to place your wireless devices above them if possible. In general, it's a good idea to try placing wireless devices in an elevated position so that they will be higher than any obstructions. Putting wireless routers or access points on the floor or inside cupboards will limit the Wi-Fi coverage. Another point to note is that access points fitted with omnidirectional antennas have a donut pattern of radiation, with most of the signal spread in a horizontal direction with not a lot in the vertical direction. So in multi-level buildings, it's recommended to place access points close to the ceiling on the lower level. This way the Wi-Fi signals will reach the upper level as well. An alternative solution here is to use ceiling-mounted access points on each level. These direct the wireless signal downwards, as shown in the radiation pattern for the ceiling-mounted Vigor AP1000C access point. Before installing your wireless network, it's recommended to do a site survey to work out where to position the wireless devices to achieve the best possible coverage. This will involve placing an access point in one location and then walking around the floor, taking measurements of the Wi-Fi signal strength at various locations. That will give you an indication where the signal level needs to be increased. Another method you can use here is the central AP management feature in Draytech Vigor routers. Here you can import a floor plan of a building and then place the access points in different locations on it to give an approximation of the wireless coverage. Full details on using this method is covered in the knowledge base article number 5757, which I'll include in the description below. Let's now look at how selection of a wireless channel or frequency band can improve Wi-Fi performance. The first one we'll look at is slow wireless connections and how selection of the wireless channel can make a difference. This is mostly due to interference from neighbouring wireless devices using a wireless channel close to the channel that you're using. As shown in this diagram, adjacent wireless channels overlap as well, so to reduce interference it's best to have a 5-channel separation from any other channels being used. When there's too much interference from crowded channels, data packets will be dropped, causing slow connections. The solution here is to try a different channel as far away as possible from other channels being used and then check for improvement. An easier way to find a suitable channel is to run the AP Discovery tool to check how many nearby devices there are and which channels are being used. You'll find this in the menu under Wireless LAN Access Point Discovery. This tool will scan for Wi-Fi signals in the area and recommend the best channel to use. Then you can go back to the Wireless LAN General Setup page I showed in the previous slide and select that channel. Dratec access points also have a diagnostic feature called Interference Monitor. This can be found in the menu under Diagnostics Interference Monitor. Like the AP Discovery tool, the Interference Monitor also recommends the best channel. However, it takes into account more details such as channel utilization, which is the amount of traffic on each channel, as well as the electromagnetic field detected on each channel. Bear in mind the channel energy reported may not necessarily be generated by other APs, it can also come from other electronic devices like microwave ovens, cordless phones and so on. For other router and AP brands that don't have Dratec's Interference Monitor or something similar, a handy little Android app that can also help work out optimum Wi-Fi channels is Wi-Fi Analyzer. This will show all of the wireless devices within range in the area, along with their signal strength in a neat graphical format. It does so for both the 2.4 and 5 GHz bands. Pictured here we see a few neighbours using channel 1 as yellow and pink, and there's another one on channel 10 in purple. So I've put one of my APs in green there on channel 6 and the other in red on channel 13. There's also other screens with other detail, including one which will recommend the best channels to use in each band. The app has ads but is free to download from Google Play. Another item to consider is the wireless channel bandwidth. By default, the wireless channel bandwidth is 2040 MHz, which means the router or AP uses two 20 MHz channels at the same time to double the throughput. You can remain on the default settings if there's not much interference on your network, but if there's a lot of interference, lower the bandwidth to 20 MHz so it uses only one least crowded channel. The channel bandwidth setting is in Wireless LAN Advanced Setting page of wireless routers and access points. Another setting within the Advanced Setting menu is the RTS threshold. RTS, Request to Send, and CTS, Clear to Send, is a mechanism to reduce collision between stations, which can improve the Wi-Fi performance. The AP only uses RTS CTS when transmitting packets larger than 2,347 bytes. Lowering it will add more overhead, but in a network with only a few stations, particularly if they are far apart from each other, it can make a difference. In this case, you can try lowering the RTS threshold to several hundred bytes to make use of RTS CTS more often and see if this improves things. Selecting a less congested frequency band can give you better Wi-Fi performance. Dratec dual band routers and access points provide both the 2.4 GHz band and the 5 GHz band. As a general rule of thumb, the 5 GHz band is less congested and will provide faster Wi-Fi speeds. To prevent all the wireless devices in a network from connecting to the 2.4 GHz band, Dratec dual band routers have a feature called band steering. This feature encourages dual band capable wireless clients to connect to the faster 5 GHz Wi-Fi band, leaving the 2.4 GHz Wi-Fi band less crowded for those clients which can only use 2.4 GHz, thereby improving Wi-Fi performance for all clients. More details on band steering and how to set it up is covered in Knowledge Base article 5694. That link will be in the description below, so you can just click on it instead of having to manually type it. Essentially, all you have to do is select Enable Band Steering within the 2.4 GHz wireless LAN setting in the router or access point. A point to note is that to use band steering, the 5 GHz Wi-Fi band needs to have an identical SSID and identical security settings as the 2.4 GHz Wi-Fi band. Another factor we've touched on already that can degrade the Wi-Fi performance is interference from nearby devices. This mainly occurs in the 2.4 GHz band, but can also be present in the 5 GHz band as well. Interference doesn't just come from other nearby wireless APs and routers, it can also come from many household appliances. This can include such things as stoves, microwave ovens, dishwashers, fluorescent lights, circuit breakers, electric razors, and cordless phones. Speaking of cordless phones, a lot of them use 2.4 GHz, so if they're causing a problem with your Wi-Fi, one solution could be to ditch them in favour of phones that use 5.8 GHz or 900 MHz. Bluetooth devices also use 2.4 GHz and can cause interference if they're using the same frequency as the Wi-Fi channel being used. If you can't get rid of these sources of interference, at least try to keep the Wi-Fi router away from them to help boost the Wi-Fi signal. As described previously, you can also use the interference monitor diagnostic tool available in most access points to find a wireless channel with less interference. The channel energy column gives an indication of the level of electromagnetic field detected on each channel, which is the amount of interference or noise detected on that frequency. As you can see here, it is recommended using channel 8 in this example because it is less congested and has slightly lower channel energy than the other channels. We'll now look at how the type of antenna being used can affect wireless coverage. The antennas supplied with most routers and access points are usually omnidirectional, meaning they broadcast in all directions around the router. As discussed earlier, if your router is near an outside wall, half of the wireless signals will be sent outside the building and much of the power will be wasted. Omnidirectional antennas have a donut-shaped radiation pattern that covers 360 degrees. These are ideal for connecting devices that are on the same plane and to either side of each other. This diagram shows that for vertical omnidirectional antennas, the radiation is spread out in a horizontal pattern, which makes them well suited for devices on the same floor within a building. The floors located above and below will see reduced signal strength. Most routers don't allow you to increase the power output, or if they do, they're usually at the max setting by default. If you're not getting the range you need, you can make better use of the power by upgrading to a higher gain antenna, which will increase the horizontal broadcast while reducing the vertical. Keep in mind there are good reasons why routers and APs aren't designed with more power and good reasons to limit your Wi-Fi broadcast to within your premises. You don't want to be sending your Wi-Fi where you don't need it and risk someone else gaining access to it, or just cause problems for your neighbour's Wi-Fi signal. Routers and APs are manufactured to meet certain legal guidelines to ensure both safety and broadcast licensing requirements. More isn't always better. A better way to take care of black spots within your premises in many cases will be to install more APs, but higher gain antennas can be a cheaper and easier option depending on the situation. A directional antenna, for example, provides greater signal strength in a specific direction, allowing increased performance and reduced interference from unwanted sources. The signal is concentrated in one direction, with almost no signal behind it in the opposite direction. These are suitable for covering specific areas in a building, such as a classroom. Upgrading to a high-gain antenna that focuses the wireless signals in only one direction means you can aim the signal in the direction where you need it most. Here we have an example of a directional antenna used with Dratec wireless routers and access points. This is the ANT2520, which is a dual-band antenna with 7.5 dBi gain on the 2.4 GHz band and 10 dBi gain on 5 GHz. I'll include a link to it below if you'd like to check it out in more detail. The security settings used can also affect Wi-Fi performance. If you have a Wi-Fi device that will not connect to the router's Wi-Fi or you're experiencing poor speeds, check that the SSID's security mode is set to WPA2 or WPA3 PSK. WPA3 is currently the most secure form of Wi-Fi authentication available and is now supported in later model routers and access points running the latest firmware. Not a lot of client devices support WPA3 yet, but using WPA3 WPA2 Personal will allow WPA2 devices to connect as well, assuming they have the password. There's a speed advantage as well. Using the older WPA PSK or WEP will significantly decrease wireless speeds to 54 megabits per second, so is not recommended. Another setting that can be adjusted in the router or access point security settings is EPOL. That stands for Extensible Authentication Protocol over LAN. This is the method used by WPA2 to exchange identities in both WPA2 PSK and WPA2 802.1x, that's enterprise modes, and to install the keys to establish an encrypted connection. Within WPA2, if a response is not received by a station or client, it can request a resend. This may be important in a noisy environment, that is one with a lot of wireless traffic and interference where responses may be lost. This can also, however, cause issues such as reducing speeds and disconnecting unresponsive clients. Disabling this setting should improve wireless throughput. You'll find it in the Wireless LAN Security menu. Another factor to consider is that your neighbours or people nearby can get a free ride if you leave your Wi-Fi open or weakly protected. So if you have a nice fast internet connection and everything looks okay, but you're still getting slow speeds, chances are that's what's happening. So make sure you lock down your Wi-Fi network with a decent security mode like WPA2 or 3 with AES encryption and a password that isn't easy to guess to prevent other people from using your internet connection, not to mention sharing everything available on your network with strangers. One final thing to consider is to upgrade the firmware in the router or access point to the latest release. The latest firmware usually includes security and bug fixes, which sometimes provides improvement to wireless connectivity. The firmware can be downloaded from the 3 sites listed here. Firmware for older devices can be found at the FTP site fw.dratec.com.tw. So to summarise, today we looked at a number of tips to improve your wireless network. We looked at access point placement and how this affects wireless coverage and signal strength. Then we looked at wireless channels and how to avoid overlapping channels. In wireless band selection, we looked at the use of band steering to improve network speeds and network congestion. Other topics we looked at were interference, antenna types, security, and firmware updates. Okay, that's about it for me, but please stay tuned. Our technical team will be answering questions in the live chat on the right of your screen for the next 5 minutes. For more information about Dratec products, please check out our website at www.dratec.com.au or send us an email to sales@dratec.com.au or give us a call on 02 9838 8899. Don't forget to like and subscribe below, and if you'd like a notification anytime we put up a new video, please give the bell a click too. Thanks and bye for now.